what is JSX in React?
Yes, JSX is the syntax extensions of the JavaScript. We can write the code which we understand by the browser.
Okay. What is state and props?
Sorry?
What is state and props?
Okay. State is the both are used for storing. It's like the state is used for storing the data. It is local to that particular component where it is defined. Then state is also mutable in a React, whereas props is used for suppose we need to sharing some information from parents to child. Then in that case the props is used. Props are immutable in a React.
Okay, can we update the props?
Yes.
How?
Sorry?
Can we update the props?
No, we cannot directly update the props, but we update the state directly, like using a set state.
Okay. Suppose we have a component A as a parent component.
Mm-hmm.
B component as a child component.
Okay.
Component A having a X state value 1. Okay, parent component is having a state X value 1.
Okay.
Okay. And the child component on it's have a button.
Okay.
On click of that button, I want to increment the state by 1 on every click. How you can implement it?
Okay. Just one question. Button is in a B component,
Child component
or in a
B
child?
component. In a B component, see, A component is having a state X value 1.
Mm-hmm.
B component is having a button.
Okay. First we set the state 1 in a component A. Then then the button on click function we can write in a component B. So we access the state variable, like suppose we pass state in child to the child B, so we can use like a this dot props dot X, and we can increment by 1. We can plus 1 to it and send callback. Yes, send a callback to the parent component, so we get the updated value.
So where you are incrementing the value, what you are doing in the child component?
Yeah, props dot state like a X as 1. We can deal child component.
And where you are updating the X value?
In the chat, and we call back through the callback we accessing the change value into the class A component.
And what you are doing the change value in the parent component?
This dot props dot X, and we plus 1 for that.
Plus 1 you are doing in child or parent?
In child.
You are doing plus 1 in child, right? That incremented value you are passing to parent component.
Yes.
And in the parent function component, what you are doing actually after passing it?
Just 1 minute. We can also say increment the state value in a parent component using like a set state method, and then pass that value to the child component, so we get the updated value of the x.
Okay. So in the child component, on button click, what you are calling?
We can call any callback function, and in that functions we increment the value of x.
Callback function is written where? From where you are passing it?
From child to parent.
And where the definition is written on the callback function?
Yes. We can write it in a child component also, or if we need to say use the set state method, then in parent also we can write the on click function of the increment function of that state.
Okay. How set state works?
Okay, the set state works like means suppose we have the x equal to 1, and we increment the value of x, then we use the previous state and do plus 1, so we get the updated state. So we again re-render the value of x to suppose 2 on UI.
Okay. And is it works synchronously or asynchronously?
Okay. When we pass some callback function to set state, so it works like asynchronously.
Synchronously or asynchronously?
When we pass a callback function to when we set a state, it cannot reflect directly onto the UI. Means it's not render on the UI. So if we need to change the value of suppose x to the updated value, so we need to pass the callback function to the set state, so we get the updated value of x.
Okay, what does it mean? Is it a works synchronously or asynchronously?
Asynchronously.
Okay. How to pass the data from child to parent?
Child to parent. Using a callback functions, we can pass the value from child to parent.
What is stateful component and functional component?
Okay. Stateful components means we uses state and life cycle methods inside the stateful components. Like we uses the we extend the components from React.component class. So in that we directly use the state and any life cycle methods. It is the stateful component mainly used for it's mostly related to behavior. Means we can actually do the logic into that, whereas the functional component in that it's like a function which props as an argument and returns the function or returns the value from it, and it does not have any state or a life cycle method. Then stateless components, we cannot use this keyword into that. Also, we cannot use the constructor for the functional component.
Okay, while developing the application, which component we should use? Stateful or functional components? Which components we should use?
Okay. As per
which components, like stateful components, you prefer? Where you prefer stateful component and where you prefer functional components?
Okay. The state basically the stateful components, suppose any data we need to change, using a state we need to change, or any life cycle method, or suppose we need to call any API, then we use the class components, and the functional components we use when we need only to display onto the UI, means UI related changes. Suppose we have one counter variable and in a parent component, and when it is incremented, we show some message high to in a child component. In that case, we do a parent component is a class component, and the child component it is a functional component in that case. So the functionality related changes, so we uses the class component.
Okay. And is it a good practice to use most of the functional components wherever the front display components are there?
Yes, it's a good practice to do that.
Okay. Explain life cycle in React.
Okay. The life cycle of React contains 4 phases, like initialization, then mounting, then updation, and last one is unmounting. So in the first phase, the first method is a constructor. So in that constructor, we set the state or bind any functions which are needed in that component. Then there will be another step, component will mount. So in that we can which is called before the render method. Then the third method will be the render. In that render method, we actually display onto the UI, and after render there will be a method component did mount. Like suppose we need to call some API, and from that response we need to set the data and display onto the UI. So we call the API in component did mount, and then after that there will be a method should component update. So it returns true or false, means whether we need to display the component on a UI or not. So it returns true or false. Before that, should component mount will component will receive props. So when the we call the API and get some data, and if we get the response, and from that response we set the data. So this can be done in component will receive props, and then should component update method. If it returns true, then there will be the another method component will update, which takes the next props as well as next state, and according to if we do some changes, like a re-rendering is happen, then after that there will be component did update method, which is executed like suppose we need to check previous props and previous state and do some functionality into that. Then we use the component did update method, and last one is component will unmount. In that the component will be unmounted from the DOM. And the updated version of React, there are some additional or some methods are added, like a get snapshot before update, or like a get derived state from props, which is a replacement of component will receive props, like that.
So those new lifecycle after introduced, so what happened to those old lifecycle methods? What they have?
Like means they will update, which takes the next props as well as next state, and according to if we do some changes like a re-rendering is happen, then after that there will be component did update method, which is executed like which suppose we need to check previous props and previous state and do some functionality into that, then we use the component did update method. And last one is component will unmount. In that the component will be unmounted from the DOM.
Okay.
And the updated version of React, there are some additional or some methods are added like a get snapshot before update, or like a get derived state from props, which is a replacement of component will receive props, like that.
So, those new lifecycle after introduced, so what happened to those old lifecycle methods? What they have?
Like means they declared is like unsafe, or it is like a deprecated.
It's unsafe, but is it a fully deprecated in 16 version?
No, means we can use that, but the updated we prefer the updated one lifecycle methods.
Okay. And suppose I don't want to render. What is the return type of should component update? Return data.
It's a boolean, like it returns true or a false.
What is the default return value?
By default it is true.
Okay. Suppose I want to call an API, in which lifecycle method we should implement it?
Before we suppose we call API like get some data, and then we down to the means into the render method. So we call it is into component did mount lifecycle method.
Okay. Suppose in the component did mount, after mounting, I am incrementing the value. So how many times actually the component did mount will get called in the whole lifecycle?
It called only once when
Okay.
the
After calling only once, so suppose I am updating the state x incremented in the previous examples, as per in previous example. So suppose we are calling the API in component did mount, and we have incremented x value by 1.
okay.
So what can happen from this point?
Means when we do a means
Increment the
update
x
that
value.
file, yes.
Yeah, x is a state, and we have incremented from 1 by 1 value. So what can be the next step? What is the effect in this life cycle?
So okay, when we increment in component mount, we can access throughout the that component life. We can accessible it.
What we can access?
We means when we increment the value of x in component mount, we can use in our component.
Yeah, that we can use, right? But I am just asking as per with respect to of life cycle step by step, that after component did have mount has been, the x value has been incremented by 1, then what is the next step it will take place?
Okay, the next step will be the component will receive props will be executed.
Means after incrementing the value, what is where it will get effect? Suppose we are using in render method, we are displaying it x value. So what can be the effect after component did mount after incrementing the value?
So it re-render again. So
Okay.
we get the updated one.
Okay, so it will re-render, right?
Yes.
After re-rendering, suppose in component did update, suppose I have written an API call, and after getting success, I am again incrementing the x value by 1. So from here, please tell me what can be the next step taken over here.
In component did update. Okay. So in a component did update, which takes two parameters like a previous props as well as previous state. So we check the previous value and that the updated ones, and according to that we change the value.
So
there will be suppose we add some condition over there, and we again do a set state in that, so we get the updated value.
Okay. Suppose I didn't write the condition, and after incrementing the x value, what is the next step it will take effect?
In same component component update. Okay, if we not actually without writing any conditions, if we do a set state, it does re-rendering again and again, means it goes into the infinite loop. So we avoid that infinite loop. We need we compulsory add to some condition over there.
Okay. What is HOC?
Okay, HOC is again a new feature introduced in the latest version of React. Like a higher order component is a function which takes the other component as an argument and returns the updated one. So it basically used for the functional component for reusing the code, existing code. Suppose we have one component. In that component, we only display a button, okay? And there will be another component where we need to take that existing button and add some style like border to red. Then in that case we use the HOC, higher order component. So the second, suppose the child P or a P component, so the higher order P component takes A component as a parameter and updates the button with the red border. So we get the updated value of or updated one.
Okay. What is control component and uncontrolled component?
Okay. Control component. In a control component, the form data is handled by the React element, whereas in uncontrolled component, the form data is handled by the DOM itself. Okay, like suppose we extend, see the normal class component, the control component. Yeah, and in an uncontrolled component, we refer the value of it using a ref attribute.
Okay. Okay. How React DOM works?
Okay. Basically, React uses virtual DOM for the updation. So whenever any data changes, actually the entire UI is copied into the virtual DOM, and the virtual DOM takes a diffing algorithm. So it calculates the difference between previous DOM representations and the updated one, and if there will be some changes, so using the reconciliation process means it only updates the that parts, not the whole UI, and only like a patch it updates on the real DOM.
Okay. What is pure component?
Okay. Pure component. Okay, pure component like suppose we know we don't need to re-render again and again some re-rendering. To prevent re-rendering, we use the pure component. So same like we extend the react.component normally. The pure component we also extend like a react.pure component to prevent the re-rendering. Suppose there will be a class A which contains some counter, and according to the counter incremented, we render in that component A, in that render component B. In that case, B unnecessary re-renders again and again due to the counter incremented. So suppose we avoid to re-rendering of that child B, we extend the child B with the react.pure component, so it prevents the re-rendering.
Okay. What is pure function?
Sorry?
What is pure function?
Pure function. Pure function takes means for same input, it always gives the same output. Like suppose we have an addition add function which takes suppose a and b parameters and returns a plus b. So it will be when we call that functions, it takes just addition and returns back. Means we get the same result. But in case of pure functions, we get the always we it returns the new result. Like suppose we have one function demo suppose, and in that demo functions
It's okay. Okay. How to render elements conditionally?
Okay, we can use the conditional operator like question mark and colon, or we use the if else in that case to conditional re-rendering.
Any other
Or yes, there will be again double and we can use for conditional.
Okay, what is fragments?
Okay, fragments is again a new features. When we render some means multiple children like a child A, child B components, so without adding some extra node, like in a previous we can add a DOM element like a div and wrap that child A and child B into the that div. But using a fragment, we can means we avoid that additional element to the DOM. So we use the fragment and wrap that child A or child B into the fragment.
Okay. Suppose I have an array with number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I want to render it in unordered list, ULLI tagged. So how we can render it?
Okay. So we can use a map to that array. Suppose the array arr dot map, and in that map we pass the like element, and in that functions we use the li and ul, so we get the element render over there.
Okay, after rendering this, do you think browser will give some warning or error?
If we not pass some key to the map function, then it will give a warning.
Okay, what is the reason behind passing the key?
Means to the map.
Yeah, in the li
No,
tag,
sorry.
li
Okay,
tag,
in allied. Okay, for unique identifications, we pass the key. Suppose in a future, if we do some operation to perform some operation on that li tag, so we refer the key as a unique identification.
what is webpack?
Okay, Webpack is the like a JavaScript bundler. So in our in application, we import the various third party or any JavaScript libraries. So the Webpack we bundle all the merge all the files into one bundle, and we refer to that bundle. So Webpack do that.
Okay. Can we do custom webpack?
Yes, but I have no experience of that.
Okay, suppose I want to create a React application quickly. So using which command we can create the React app?
Yes, we can use the create React app, and from that command we get the some folderized structure like that contains package.json or index.html file, index.js file.
Okay. What is portals in React?
Yes, portal like is the portal is a first class way to import the DOM, means the child, which is outside the DOM hierarchy. So we use the portal for that, and we uses the create portal of React.
Okay, what is context API?
Yes, context API means if we need to share the share some information, like if we need to pass some information from parents to child, and again from that child to like a nested. Okay, so the context will store the common thing to the one central place, so the child can easily access it. So
Okay.
we use some context for that. And
Okay,
it
what
also
is error boundaries?
Error boundaries means in a rendering phase, suppose we have any errors, so to prevent that or handling the catch error, we uses the error boundary. So there will be the two lifecycle methods, component did catch and get derived state from error. These are two lifecycle methods can be called, which means identifies their for the error boundaries, and we wrap the component under the error boundary class, error boundary component.
Okay. So apart from catching the errors, what is the use behind the error boundaries?
Means we identifies the errors which like suppose some due to some work issue rendered something, and like means in on UI we failure the component to load due to the network failure. So in that case, we wrap our component into that error boundary. So we get the
Okay. Yeah, that is called as a fallback UI that we show.
Yes, fallback. Sorry.
Okay. How to check the type of props in component?
Yes, we use the prop types for that. So the it takes the component dot prop type. Suppose component A dot prop types, which again object, and in that suppose we have name, then we validate it like it will be text like prop types dot string or prop type dot number. So we validate the that fields.
Okay, very good. What are hooks?
Yeah, hooks again new feature introduced in the newer version of React. Hooks, there are the different types of hooks. Like suppose we need to use the state or the life cycle method of React, the functional component. Then for that purpose we uses the hooks like use state or use effect.
Okay, can we use these hooks in classful component?
Sorry?
Can we use these hooks methods in a
Mm-hmm.
classful component?
Classful component. No.
Okay, right. We cannot use right.
I can.
Yeah. Have you worked on unit testing?
Yes, means from the last week I just started the Jest UI framework for that. This is learning, so I have a little bit knowledge on that Jest.
Okay.
But I can
Good.
do.
Okay. Yeah. Good. What is Redux?
Yeah, Redux is a JavaScript library for state management controller. Like our whole application we placed into the store, and from that store we can use the updated state. So in Redux the state is like immutable. We cannot directly update the state, so there will be a action and the reducer so when we need to update the state, in that case we dispatch an action, and when we dispatch an action, so the corresponding reducer will be called, and where the actual state updates, and again we get the updated state, and we will show into the component.
Okay, good.